Mountain View in 2010, about a mile from Google headquarters. Check out the castle. Meet Lanham, the CEO, and Lou, the president. See for yourself. It'll be fun. The castle? I scratched my head. Let me think about it. 2 weeks later, Mark picked me up at the San Antonio airport. We got off 35, made a right, and drove up to a massive building surrounded by a sea of blacktop. Mark explained that Rackspace was housed in a converted shopping mall, but I'd imagined it was a lot smaller. Outside the main entrance, there was a galvanized water tower brandishing the words, "Home of Fanatical Support." Intriguing. Even with Mark's earlier download, I was quite unprepared for what was to come when he flashed his badge and the receptionist waved us in. I stepped out of the cool San Antonio air and into the bustle of a corporate amusement park. Various flags hung from the 25-foot ceiling as phones rang, computers whirred, and people hustled this way and that. A spiral slide connected the second floor to the ground floor. The people in front of me looked to be hard at work, and yet their smiles and laughter and sense of spirited collaboration made it clear that everybody was having a hell of a lot of fun. Inconceivable, I thought to myself, channeling my inner Vizzini from The Princess Bride, as one does. I knew right then and there I'd be moving to Texas. That is, if they'd have me. A vibration in my pocket jolted me back to Tacoma. It was Gigi, Rackspace's VP of Engineering. "Everything okay?" I asked. "Not really. Mark is out," she said, her voice uncharacteristically shaky. "What do you mean he's out?" "They announced it this morning. They replaced our Mark. Can you friggin' believe it?" She interrupted me before I had time to fumble out a response. "Can you come back? We need you here, now." "Shit," I said, not entirely under my breath. My heart sank. I probably should have seen this coming. 6 months earlier, when Lou, the president and Mark's boss, stepped down, I wondered how long the Rackspace ride would last. Then, a few short months after that, our beloved CEO Lanham, the living embodiment of Rackspace culture, was unceremoniously ousted by the board of directors. It stunk, but leadership changes like this happen sometimes when an organization changes strategic direction or top priorities. One half of my bagel slid off the conveyor belt in all its mostly toasted glory, taking me back to the matter at hand. "What good will it do?" I asked. A newfound clarity presented itself in Gigi's voice. "I don't know exactly. You keep everybody calm." It was an interesting observation, if not a touch ironic. Funny how consuming copious amounts of espresso can help one keep other people calm. Let me see when I can get a flight. In those 4 minutes, I experienced what Elon Musk, love him or hate him, euphemistically refers to as an unplanned disassembly. Now all our best-laid plans, the decisions they were based on, and the priorities we had stacked on top of one another were all up in the air, spinning wildly like those numbered balls in a novelty bingo machine. What should we do next? What could we do? How could I help to right the ship? Was it even possible to right it? If Mark couldn't make it work, how could I, someone not on the SLT, possibly help? Figuring all of this out was going to take a lot more than a one-person crisis response in a hotel breakfast room. It was going to take a systematic approach, a rigorous process that would make it crystal clear what mattered and what didn't. It was all about priorities. Fortunately for me, everything I had accomplished up to this point in my career, on purpose and sometimes not, revolved around developing such a system. I hung up and called the office, informing them that, God willing, I was going to be back at the castle by the end of the day. I had a job to do. For companies and organizations to survive, they need to prioritize. But to thrive, their priorities must mesh like gears to synchronize the work that teams are planning and doing, so they can make progress consistently and predictably. And those teams, in turn, must be composed of individual contributors and frontline managers who are tightly aligned.